Greetings to you all and welcome to my channel once again. You're so much welcome to my channel. The Democrats, like they normally do, have come up with another lie against the President of the United States that he will not commit to a peaceful transfer of power. Like you know, the Democrats are so desperate to take President Trump out of the White House. They can do anything, they can say anything, they can take any action. They don't want to know what could be the consequences of the actions, the consequences of what they do or what they say, and how harmful it could be, how harmful the actions could be to the American people, or if the actions are against the Constitution of the United States or in line with the Constitution of the United States. They don't want to care. The only thing they are interested in is taking President Trump out of the White House. And now they have come up with another propaganda that he would not concede to a peaceful transfer of power. They are doing it in order to convince voters to vote for them. Now, take a look.
Real quickly, win, lose, or draw in this election, will you commit here today for a peaceful transfer of power after the election? And there has been rioting in Louisville. There's been rioting in many cities across this country, red and your so-called red and blue states. Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
I understand that, but people are rioting. Do you commit to making sure that there's a peaceful transferal of power?
We want to get rid of the ballots, and you'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly. There'll be a continuation. The ballots are out of control. You know it. And you know who knows it better than anybody else? The Democrats know it better than anybody else. Go ahead.
President Trump was asked a question by the reporter if he would concede the result of the election and ensure a peaceful transfer of power. Now, Trump did not give a very direct answer to this very question. President Trump did not say yes, and at the same time he didn't say no, but he said he would have to see what happens after the election, which means whatever happens after the election will determine his next action. If the election is free and fair, then he will accept the result of the election, but if the election is fraudulent, he may not accept the result of the election and he may challenge it in the court. He didn't come to a very final conclusion over this question, but the Democrats came to a conclusion for him. Now, this is the tweet from Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton tweeted and said, "Trump's refusal to commit to the peaceful transfer of power is the behavior of a desperate would-be dictator who did cling to office even if it meant destroying America." Now, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, while making a speech at the floor of the Senate, also said this, and I quote, "The gravest threat to American democracy is President Donald Trump." They are already concluding that President Trump will lose the election. The same mistake they made in 2016. Now, it is important for us to analyze this, for us to realize the people that pose as the real threat to American democracy, if it is President Trump or the Democrats. Now, let's take a look at this video of Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Running mate, Governor Pence, pledged on Sunday that he and you, his words, will absolutely accept the result of this election. Today, your daughter Ivanka said the same thing. I want to ask you here on the stage tonight, do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely, sir, that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time. What I've seen is so bad. First of all, the media is so dishonest and so corrupt, and the pile-on is so amazing. The New York Times actually wrote an article about it that they don't even care. It's so dishonest, and they've poisoned the minds of the voters. But unfortunately for them, I think the voters are seeing through it. I think they're going to see through it. We'll find out on November 8th, but I think they're going to see through it.
But, sir,
if you look, excuse me, Chris, if you look at your voter rolls, you will see millions of people that are registered to vote. Millions. This isn't coming from me. This is coming from Pew Report and other places. Millions of people that are registered to vote that shouldn't be registered to vote. So let me just give you one other thing. So I talk about the corrupt media. I talk about the millions of people. Tell you one other thing. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's guilty of a very, very serious crime. She should not be allowed to run. And just in that respect, I say it's rigged. Because she should never, Chris, she should never have been allowed to run for the presidency based on what she did with emails and so many other things.
But, sir, there is a tradition in this country. In fact, one of the prides of this country is the peaceful transition of power, and that no matter how hard fought a campaign is, that at the end of the campaign, that the loser concedes to the winner. Not saying that you're necessarily going to be the loser or the winner, but that the loser concedes to the winner and that the country comes together in part for the good of the country. Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Well,
okay?
Chris, let me respond to that because that's horrifying. You know, every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him. The FBI conducted a year-long investigation into my emails. They concluded there was no case. He said the FBI was rigged. He lost the Iowa caucus. He lost the Wisconsin primary. He said the Republican primary was rigged against him. Then Trump University gets sued for fraud and racketeering. He claims the court system and the federal judge is rigged against him. There was even a time when he didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged against him.
Should have gotten it.
This is a mindset. This is how Donald thinks. And it's funny, but it's also really troubling.
Okay.
You know, that is not the way our democracy works. We've been around for 240 years. We've had free and fair elections. We've accepted the outcomes when we may not have liked them. And that is what must be expected of anyone standing on a debate stage during a general election. You know, President Obama said the other day, when you're whining before the game is even finished, it just shows you're not up to doing the job. And let's be clear about what he is saying and what that means. He is denigrating. He's talking down our democracy. And I, for one, am appalled that somebody who is the nominee of one of our two major parties would take that kind of position.
President Trump was asked by Chris if he would accept the result of the election. Then Trump gave a response very similar to the one that he gave last week at the White House. Then Clinton described the answer to be horrifying, and she made this statement: "That's not the way our democracy works. We have been around for 240 years. We have had free and fair elections. We have accepted the outcomes when we may not have liked them, and that's what must be expected of anyone." She even went further to say that the mindset of Donald Trump is that when things are not going in his direction, he sees them to be rigged. Now take a look at the speech made by the same woman in 2020.
So we've got to have a massive legal operation, and I know the Biden campaign is working on that. We have to have poll workers, and I urge people who are able to be a poll worker. We have to have our own teams of people to counter the force of intimidation that the Republicans and Trump are going to put outside polling places. This is a big organizational challenge, but at least we know more about what they're going to do. And, you know, Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances, because I think this is going to drag out, and eventually I do believe he will win.
It seems she has forgotten in 2020 that one tradition in America is that anyone who loses in an election should always concede the result of the election. She believed that in 2016 because she thought she was going to win. She was much confident that she was going to win the election. But now in 2020, she does not believe that again, because she is having that impression that from the way things are going, Trump is likely to win the election. Now, that is how hypocritical she is, the level of hypocrisy in her. And it's not only for Hillary Clinton, but for all the Democrats. They are very much hypocritical, and all they know it is hatred for Trump. Hatred for Trump. Now, with this, which people now pose as a real threat to American democracy? Is it President Trump? Is not President Trump, but the Democrats. The Democrats, they are enemy of the people. They are not for the will of the people. They are not for the Constitution. The only thing they are interested in is control and power. No matter the level of their lives, people must be told the truth, and people should understand where they are coming from. They are not coming from the right direction, but they are coming from the wrong direction. They are not coming for the will of the American people. They are coming against American people. Now, even White House Press Secretary gave a very wonderful clarification to this. Take a look.
Yeah, Kelly, I wonder if you can just clean up or clarify something the president said yesterday. If he loses this election, can you assure us that there will be a peaceful transfer of power?
You are referring to the question asked by the Playboy reporter, right?
I'm referring to you with the president being asked if there would be a peaceful transfer of power, and he did not say yes.
Yeah,
so
I believe.
I'm asking you, will there be a peaceful transfer of power if he loses this election?
I believe that question asked by the Playboy Power. In fact, I think I have it right here. He was asked win, lose, or draw whether he would accept the transfer of power. I'm not entirely sure if he won why he would accept a transfer of power. That is maybe the deranged wish of that reporter, but that's not how governing works.
Very direct and very simple question. If the president loses this election, will this White House, will this president assure us that there will be a peaceful transfer of power? It's a very simple question.
The president will accept the results of a free and fair election. But I think that your question is more fitting to be asked of Democrats who have already been on the record saying they won't accept the results of an election. In fact, I have several of them here for you. South Carolina Democrat Jim Clyburn has said that Trump is not going to win fairly. Senator Barbara Boxer has said that the only way Trump will win is to steal it. That's according to Democrat Senator Barbara Boxer. The Washington Post has noted, they have a headline, Democrats may not trust the results of the election if Trump wins. And then you have that beautiful quote from Hillary Clinton that Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstance. So I think your fitting is a fitting question for Democrats.
The hypocrisy is high. The level of hypocrisy in the Democrat is very high. They are not coming from the right direction. They are coming from the wrong direction. They can do everything humanly possible in order to get rid of Trump, in order to take him out of the White House. They can say anything. They can launch every form of attack. The only thing they are interested in is getting rid of Trump, taking him out of the White House. They are so much interested in power and control. And the people of America should take note of this and do the right thing on November 3rd. In fact, Donald Trump has in so many times described this election to be the most important election in history. The people of America may not understand this. This election is not only important in America, but this 2020 election is the most important election not only in America, but in the history of the world. Because politics in America somehow affects every other continent in the world. Don't sit in your house on November 3rd. Call your neighbors, call your children, go out and vote. Go out and vote. The election is very important. Go out and vote so that we secure another 4 years of President Trump in the White House. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please, if you're watching more videos like this, consider subscribing to my channel so that each time I upload a new content, you get notified and you come here to watch my video. Thanks so much and bye for now.